You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a successful motivational speaker and trusted life coach, Nancy knows how you can live the life you want regardless of the challenges you face. Although she's legally blind, Nancy's mission is to inspire others to overcome obstacles and live life full out. Call in at 800-333-0001 to ask Nancy for advice on topics such as relationships, finances, business, health, and more. Just call 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Hello and welcome to the Living Full Out Show. I am Nancy Solari and we're so excited to be here with you today because we're going to be talking about our vision, the vision we have for our life. How do we make that come true? How do we even design that, shape that? You know, sometimes I will talk to clients and they will say, Nancy, I don't know what I want in my life. I feel lost. Well, today we're going to focus on you. We want to make sure that you are no longer lost, that you are able to tap into your purpose, your desires, and that you can transform, you can evolve into who you want to be, into that vision that you so much desire having and that you want to have come to fruition. So stay tuned. Many good things coming ahead. And we're going to be taking your calls. So again, if you want to call in, we'd love to see how we can motivate you, how we can help you to put together those action steps. That number is 800-333-0001. Again, 800-333-0001. Now, if you want to hear today's show again, go to livingfullout.com, click on the radio show tab, and all of our episodes will be waiting for you, including the recording of today's show. And we want to hear from you. If you are inspired by today's show, if you have questions, reach out to us at connect@livingfullout.com. Again, that's connect@livingfullout.com. Also, from time to time, we will get emails from people who have a story that they want to share. If you feel like you would like to be an inspirational guest on our show, again, we'd love to hear from you and be able to share your story with our Living Full Out audience. Now, I'm getting word from our producer here that we have a caller on the line, so we're going to go say hello to them. Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out show. Hi, welcome to the show. Oh, I think.
Hi.
Hi, welcome. How can I help you today? What's going on?
Well, I had a question. I have a 8-year-old son, and recently he's been acting up at school, not consistently, but sporadically, where he's, talking out of turn and not listening. And I was wondering if this is something that is normal for his age, or if it's something that could be as a result of his father and I being divorced, and so maybe he's feeling the effects of it and acting out because of that.
You know, it's a great question, and obviously you're a loving mother for asking it. You know, really, I applaud you for that because you want to make sure that you're not putting him in a harmful place, that if he is emotionally having issues with the divorce, that you're there to support him. Has he communicated with you any struggles around the divorce?
He hasn't, and we separated when he was 2 years old, so it's not something that necessarily happened recently, but now I think maybe he's getting to the age where he's more aware that we're divorced, and maybe it's not normal, or maybe he has friends that their parents are together, but he hasn't necessarily mentioned anything about it.
Do you want to know what the good news is? The good news is there is no such thing as normal. In this day and age, unfortunately, there's enough divorces out there that, there is no quote normal. And there's a lot of blended families. And the main thing is that he has the love of his parents. The main thing is that he can lay his head down at night and know that he can dream, know that he's in a safe place. Now, one other question I have for you is, you might check in with him to see if there's anything going on at school, any peer pressure.
Okay.
Remembering back to when we were in school, right? That darn playground. There's the bullies. There's the people that you want to hang out with, but you can't quite break into that crowd. There's the people that you naturally are friends with, and then there's the people that you don't want to be friends with, right? And that's throughout life, right? We always have these same characters throughout life. But I would just wonder if maybe he's acting out due to his own pressures. Being his age is not like when we were his age. The ante has been upped, right? And I wonder what social pressures he has going on. Have you sat with him and kind of did a check-in and said, Have you made any new friends lately? Is there anything at school that's bothering you, or anyone that's bothering you? Have you kind of did a check-in with him?
Yeah. We've asked him when he gets his behavior slips, just asking him what happened, and he's a little defensive, but he hasn't really identified anything specific that's maybe happening to him that's causing him to act out. He just sort of defends his actions.
Got it. Well, hey, he's speaking up for himself. Well, and you might just gotta let him get through this. If we can't protect our kids, our loved ones all the time. Sometimes we have to let them go through pain. We have to let them be frustrated. We have to let them be, reprimanded by their teacher, right? Because that's how you learn. You get slapped on the hand, you're like, oh, I won't do that again, right? So I think you just stay the course. As long as you stay in communication with him, you're constantly asking him, how are things going for him, and also his friends. If another friend's parents are getting divorced, or if a friend is going through a challenging time, that can be a little bit of a struggle for him too, because he doesn't have the same coping skills that we have at that age. They're not quite ready to just jump into the mode of caring for someone and giving resourceful answers. So I would just continue to check in, but I think you're absolutely on the right path. And sounds like you have a very beautiful son, and he's just going to evolve and grow, and let's see where he goes. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much for calling in.
Okay.
So it's so interesting, because when we have these moments in life where we're at this crossroad, right? She's at a crossroad with her son. What can she do to make his life easier? What can she do to make it better? Those are great questions to ask. Being involved not just in your own life story, but others as well. I've said it on this show before, and I'll say it again. Think of your life as like a book, right? You're the main character in your story. Everybody else is supporting characters. But in our last caller's case, she's one book, but then her son has a book, right? And he's got his story that's evolving and growing and so forth. And she's a supporting character in his book. So the thing is it's important that we don't just get self-involved in our own life, but that we actually allow ourselves to give to other people, that we give the best of ourselves, that we ask questions, that we're supportive, that we give resources when we can. Now, we're talking today about vision, right? So one thing that might be helpful for our caller, if she's still listening here, is to kind of allow her son to visualize, what does he want his day at school to look like? What does he want his friendships to look like? What does he dream of being one day? And then the ironic thing is, even at 6 or 8, we still think that same thing as adults, right? What do we want to be when we grow up? I'm in my 40s, but shoot, I have so many dreams of things that I want to be when I grow up, right? And so putting the show back into your hands is, what do you want? If we're really looking at today, here we are, and we're in the midst of this hour-long show together, what do you want to come out of today? What would fire you up? What would excite you? What would make you feel as though you're living on purpose, that you're living on point? And it's important that when you hone in on, what those desires are, what those passions are, then you say, okay, how do I get that feeling? What do I need to do to feel that way all the time? Well, then we look at what are some hobbies that you can start in on. What are some activities that you can do? Who have you not talked to in your life in a long time? When you pull together all these different attributes, all these different things that you can do to advance yourself forward in life, then you're getting closer to that vision. Now, when we come back in our next segment, I want to talk further about how you can tap into your vision, how you can crystallize that a little bit more, how you can also enroll your friends, your family members into supporting you in that vision that you hold for yourself. And also, most importantly, is not everybody will always stand beside you and cheer you on. There will be those that look for you to fail. There will be those that kind of set some traps for you that you don't want to fall into, that might throw you off your path. And a lot of times that may be because they don't have a vision. They're lost. And again, this is where you might be able to be a source of strength or inspiration for them. By you staying the course on your vision, your goals, your action plan, they can't help but be inspired themselves to say, well, gosh, I thought they would fail, but they didn't. Maybe I won't fail. Do you see how all that kind of connects together? So, we will be right back talking more about developing our vision. Again, if you want to call in, if you have questions, that number is 800-333-0001. And this is the Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari, and we'll be coming right back after this break.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. A professional motivational speaker, Nancy can help you overcome obstacles and start living full out. Call in with questions live at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Welcome back to the Living Full Out Show. I am Nancy Solari, and today we're talking about vision. How we can develop a vision for our life, or in some cases, we might not even know what we want to do. How do we find that out? How do we tap into our purpose? That is our goals for today. Now, we are taking your calls throughout the show as well. So if you want to call in, that number is 800-333-0001. And I also want you to feel like you can reach out to us at connect@livingfullout.com, because we're committed to you living that vision full out and attaining those goals. And sometimes you need help. And that's what we're here for, to inspire you, to motivate you, but also, give you some direction or some useful resources or tips if we can help propel you in the right direction. So connect at livingfullout.com. So let's talk about vision. I will share with you that when I was diagnosed with being retinitis pigmentosa, which has caused me to be legally blind today, I was 16 years old. And I remember thinking back when I was 16, I wanted to be Oprah Winfrey. Who didn't? Who still doesn't, right? But anyway, I just remember thinking that is a career I want to do. And I went right into broadcasting and got my very first job working out at Good Morning America. And it was just awesome. I couldn't believe I was walking the same halls as Barbara Walters and Regis Philbin and all these people. And there I was, this girl from Oregon, just in New York City, living her dream. But then my vision started to take a jump, and then another jump. And when I say a jump, I mean it started to get blurry, blind spots, you name it. And it became very unsettling, is the word, because here I was trying to live my dream, but then I was getting thrown off of my vision. I had a hard time reading teleprompters. I was confused by, gosh, can I even do this career anymore? And with my vision changing so much. My career then went off into a couple different tangents. I still was in broadcasting, but I kind of left it for a little bit, went into the music industry, then went into real estate. In life, we have to try different things and let life wash over us. So I kind of felt life through and I experienced, but deep down inside me, I still had that dream, that vision, right? Well, I remember I was at a speaking event. This was way back in 2010. And a gentleman came up to me and he said, "Hi, I was checking you out from the back of the room and I've been kind of watching you for a while. And, we'd like to, have you come on air with us at KFWB at the time. And we'd like you to do a life coaching show." Wow. There I was right back in the saddle of my dream again. I had just taken maybe a little bit of a pit stop, rest stop, whatever you want to call it along the way by trying different careers. But wow, here was that dream right front and center again. I obviously said yes, and here our show has evolved to where we are today as a national show, but I did say yes to that. And it's interesting because when you're meant to do something, it's kind of like a magnet in your body. You can go and do all these other things and try different experiences and even say to your dream, "I've had it. It's never going to happen." But that magnet inside you, that's going to pull you along. You might not even know it. You might not even feel it. But it'll keep taking you on your course. It just might not look exactly like you had dreamed it to be. I love this radio show and I enjoy so much being here with you every day. It doesn't mean that I have to be Oprah Winfrey. I can just be Nancy Solari. And so you want to be you. So what is being the best version of you? What do you envision yourself looking like when you're living that purpose, when you're executing that vision? What are you wearing? What are you saying? How does it smell? You want to get so crystal clear on what that looks like so that that magnet becomes even stronger and pulls you even closer to your dream and goal. Now, you do have to be open to life kind of giving you those curveballs, right? Because when we're not open, when we're fixated on our dream having to be a certain way, you miss out on opportunities. I see this so oftentimes. I'm here in Los Angeles with actors, right? They want to act and they don't want to do anything else. And we've all heard about the starving actor, right? That's the actor that keeps going after it but doesn't quite get where they want to go. And I applaud them for their dream, their commitment. However, if they were to make some subtle changes and be open to maybe looking at acting in a different way, they might find that they're really good at voiceovers. They might find that they're really good at doing like tutorial videos for a corporate company. You know, acting can be done in so many different ways. So whatever your dream or goal is, rather than being stuck in one lane and it has to be that lane only, I want you to switch lanes from time to time in life. I want you to pull over, take a break if you need to, recharge yourself. Because remember, that magnet is going to pull you along anyway. So you don't have to worry. You don't have to get stressed out about where am I going? Am I going to fail? Will it happen? It will happen, but it's going to happen on its own divine time. You have to look at every experience that comes your way and really soak that up. And I know for so many of my clients and even myself, life did not unfold exactly like I pictured it. And when I say pictured, I did not picture at 16 and younger that I would be legally blind. I thought for sure I would be seeing and I would be doing, and now I'm doing, but I'm feeling life through without seeing. It's just a different experience. So as we go into the rest of this show, I want you to continue to crystallize that vision. Again, what does it smell like? What does it feel like? What are you wearing? What are you doing? You know, when you finally reach that pinnacle, that point where you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it came true, what do you say to yourself? Now, as we go along in the show, one of the things I really want you to think about too is the self-talk that you say to yourself, right? Sometimes we'll say to ourselves, oh, it's never going to happen. Or why? Why me? Right? Or why not me? Let's look at it that way. Why not? Why when our life gets off track, why not? Why should we not go off track? When bad things happen to us, why not? Why should they not happen to us? And again, that's just kind of life poking you, like poking you in the side. You will never be given more than you can handle. It may seem like at times, oh my gosh, I just want to give up. I'm done. I'm done. You might say that to yourself. I want you to stop that. I want you to stop that negative self-talk, and I want you to say to yourself, I'm going to survive. You know, okay, this is just kind of a moment. Okay, this is getting really stressful, but I'm going to get through it. You want to be very positive in talking to yourself in a way that gets you along that path to your dream, to your goal, to that vision. Okay, so when we come back, again, we have some calls on the line. We'll be coming back, taking those calls, 800-333-0001. It's all about the vision that you have for your life. How do we get that? How do we attain those goals? Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this break.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a trusted life coach, Nancy will help you overcome setbacks and embrace all life has to offer. Call in with questions live at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Thank you for joining us today. I am Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show, and we are talking about creating a vision for our life. And what do we do to make that happen? Why do other people's visions and goals and dreams come true, but ours don't? Sometimes people ask ourselves, why me? And we just covered earlier, why not us? You know, the thing is when you have a vision, it's your personal dream, your personal goal for your life. And what I encourage you to do is share that dream with as many friends and family as you can. Because when the good moments do happen, you want to celebrate it with other people. If you keep that dream, that vision, that goal just all hidden inside you, then when you get to those milestones, no one to share it with. No one understands. No one quite gets what you do to get there. Now, especially when those pitfalls happen, when those mistakes, when we fail, when we get thrown off our course, right? You also want those friends and family to be right there beside you to keep you accountable to that dream and goal. There's been a few days recently, because I recently had this big move that I did, where all my days were long and they were going off course right and left. And many of my friends were like, no, Nancy, no, I don't want to hear tired, because, you have coaching clients today, you have people to inspire, you've got your radio show, and they would not let me budge. There was no excuses. So we need those friends and family in our life to hold our feet to the fire sometimes. Now, I want you to tell the people who say that you can't make it, tell them to turn around and walk away. Okay, because you can make it. Your dream, your goal can absolutely come true. Don't let them throw you off your course. Now, I got a word from our producer that we do have another caller on the line. We want to take their call. Hello, welcome to the Living Full Out Show. Hi, welcome to the show.
Nancy. So I have a question.
Sure.
Lately I've been so busy with school, work, and friends that my girlfriend and I have been having trouble communicating with each other. And I was just wondering, how can I balance everything so that we can get back to the things that we're without upsetting her?
You know what? I wish we could duplicate you, because the fact that you're asking that question, women across America are like, I want a boyfriend like him. That's a really loving thing that you're asking that question. Now, do you want this relationship to last? Long time?
Yeah. I really do.
Maybe even forever, right? Okay. And I ask that question just because sometimes we date people just for times in our life, and other people we can't even imagine our life without them. So she's that gal, right? Well, you just want to make her feel special. And a lot of times people just want to feel heard. So when she's upset, when she's crying, when she feels like you're not there for her, let her vent. Let her get it out. And then the best thing you can do is paraphrase back to her what she said, so she really gets that you hear her. And can I ask you, what is her biggest complaint?
The biggest complaint is that we just don't talk to him. We're always around friends, or we're doing school or work or something like that. But we're never actually just talking one-on-one with each other. We're always around people.
Okay.
And she just complains that we're growing apart from that.
And you don't want to grow apart, right? So I got a couple suggestions for you. Okay. Now, if you can do it on a weekly basis, that's the best. But if not, try at least, twice a month. But go on a date night, just you and her. Doesn't mean it has to be expensive. Doesn't mean that you have to travel far. It can just be a picnic. It's just special time together. And do things that would bring her joy. Do things that that neither of you have ever done. Like sometimes going on a living social or a Groupon and just finding something completely random on there. Like there's these things I've seen on there before I've never done, where you're drinking wine and painting. Sounds good, right? I don't know what it is. I just keep seeing them. So find some really interesting things. Go to a museum. Like here, I don't know where you live exactly, but here in Los Angeles, they just opened an ice cream museum. I love ice cream. I'll be taking my boyfriend to that, right? So just find some fun things that you can do together and experience together, or something that she really loves that would bring her joy. And then also, there's a lot of books out there that are question books, and they will ask very thought-provoking questions, and some are really fun. Like if you had a magic wand, what are 3 wishes you would want? Okay, so go get this question book, and maybe you could each get a copy, or maybe you do it together in person, or maybe you do it over the phone and one person reads the question. It's kind of fun because they're usually numbered 1 through 100, and say, okay, pick a question. I pick number 63, and then you read that question, and that's her question. And it's some very thought-provoking, heartfelt question, and she answers it. And do you see how you could just do 1 question a night, 1 question a couple times a week? Do you see how that would kind of open up dialogue? So I just want you to kind of look outside the box of this relationship, because what you're going through is very common. It is very common, and there's a lot of times where relationships kind of flatline. They kind of reach a point where each person is overly comfortable with the other and they don't even know what to say. Well, you're kind of the other extreme of that, right? You two are so busy that you're not getting that quality time in. That's when you got to kind of pull it back and remember, why did we start dating in the first place? Oh my gosh, I love the way she does this. And she likes me for that. Wow, get back to basics, and then you'll find your way back to each other, no doubt. Is that something you can do?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm. And one last.
All right, well, thank you so much for that.
Absolutely. And I just want to say one last thing. We are talking today about a vision, and there's nothing more attractive in a relationship than two people that can have a shared vision. Your vision for your life, her vision for her life, and what your life looks like together. That right there is hours of conversation. Okay?
All right.
All right. Thank you so much for calling in. Have a great day.
No problem.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Oh man, those heartbreaking moments in a relationship. But the thing is, if we don't have those moments, we can't grow. We can't get that richer, more developed relationship. So I love that he called in about that. We're going to go back to the phone lines now and talk to another caller. Hello, welcome to the Living Full Out Show. Hello, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. What's going on today?
Well, you're talking about vision today, and I'm just wondering about looking towards the future. I've been working for the company I work for the last 30 to 35 years, and due to medical reasons like headaches and that kind of stuff, I've had to scale back my number of hours from a 8 to 10 hour workday to probably about a 4, maybe a 5 hour workday. And while I'm concerned that while I still have health care and all that kind of stuff, I'm not sure that going forward, with the glare and all that stuff in the environment that I'm working in, if that's the right decision I should be making, if I should be looking for maybe another, alternative form of employment, or maybe working from home or something like that. And I didn't know going forward. I mean, I still have about 10 years before I can legally retire according to the government. So I'm not really, at the point where I could just say, okay, well, the heck with it. I'm just going to retire and say that,
Because we all wish we could, right? Plan. We all wish we could just win that lottery and be done and go do fun things, right?
Exactly.
You're asking a great question. So remember what I said in the very beginning of the show, right? Our life is like a story. It's like a book. And so where you have worked for all these years is a chapter. And it may be time to start a new chapter. And you're right. What does that new chapter look like? Do you work from home? Do you join another company? And that's kind of for you to discover. The great thing about where we are in the world today is so many things can be done from home. There are some great websites out there. I'm not going to toot their horn because I like one or more better than the other, but like, for example, Upwork, Odesk, Guru, Elance, a lot of job platforms where people can go and do services, whether it be calling, research, voiceovers, sales, websites, you name it. So many different career paths that are on those job boards that you might see some opportunity there where you could work from home, where you could create your own world where you're not having those headaches, where you're still making the money that feels good to you to still pay the bills and have some more to do fun things. And I think that at some point, and I'm very glad that you're doing this, you have to put your health first. Because again, you're the central character, right? The job, our friends, our family, they're just aspects of our life. They don't define who we are. But you have to stay in a good, healthy place. You have to be safe in order to really be living life full out. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And the thing is you just have to think about, what is that new vision? Like, I'm tired of feeling these headaches. I'm tired of feeling this weight of what do I do next? So just think about what really makes you happy. Okay, and I want to do more of that. How do I get that? Okay, so
it helps that, I'm not like 20 years old anymore either. I'm like in my mid-50s. So, that also complicates things when you look at the job market as well to see who's going to hire you.
sometimes and sometimes not. Because again, where some companies will want to pay less, maybe someone who's green and they're going to take on training them, other companies are going to look for experience and pay for that experience. They don't want to waste time. They want somebody who can get it done. So you want to work for the companies that are looking to get it done.
All right, great. Thanks for your help.
You're welcome. Thank you for calling in. And for everybody, just like our last two callers, life is meant to be felt. It's meant to be experienced. So when we don't allow ourselves to embrace change, when we stay in the place of fear, when we're worried about the what ifs, then you fall into the next trap, which is regret. The woulda, coulda, shouldas, right? It's worse to be in the place of regret. The woulda, coulda, shouldas, that is a more scary place than the place of the unknown. So leap out of that place of fear. Don't do anything irrational. Don't break up with people. Don't quit jobs. Think it through. Be methodical. But just create a new vision. Take it like a paintbrush on a canvas and design it the way you want. And of course, call us here at Living Full Out if you have any questions, because we're always here to support you. So we'll be coming back in our next segment, taking your calls. This is the Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari. We'll be back. To live full out means that you have a vision for your life. You have a goal and really going after it in a big way. And there are going to be times in our life when things don't go right. But if you stay the course, if you say to yourself, I can do it, that will come true. You just have to allow patience and time to be your guide, and you will make it happen. Living full out is about getting closer to that vision every day. All right. Well, I can never believe how fast the shows go. We're in the last segment of the show. We're talking about vision today. And it's interesting, for me anyway. It's rather ironic that I'm now legally blind and I am such a big advocate for vision because I believe that we can all close our eyes and dream in color. I really believe that a vision is one of those things where it's attainable. We just have to let life kind of let us experience things in the way that we're meant to. And part of the thing about this show, which is so special to me, is that so many times people call in because they do have a vision for their life. They have a certain way they see a relationship going. They have a career that they want to attain or achieve. They have family values or things they want to experience with those that they love. And that's what motivation is about. It's about encouraging our family, our friends, and ourselves to keep stepping forward every day. Even if you trip, even if you fully, fall on your face, you can get right back up again and you can keep walking forward. Again, it's kind of funny because I will tell people when I'm giving speeches sometimes, I'm like, this is easy because I can't see you, right? I can't see the audience that I'm talking to. But I always share with them, I said, when I step on stage, what is the vision that each of you have for your career, for your life? Where do you want it to go? It's not about doing everything at one time. I think that's where we get so off course, where we get so defeated, is we feel like we have to eat everything on our plate so quickly and achieve that goal overnight. You don't. You just want to take little chunks, little benchmarks, little goals, achieve them, celebrate those wins. And then before you know it, you're going to be closer to that vision, closer to that dream than you ever thought you would. And it's going to be easier than you thought it would be. Now, we're going to go to the phone lines again and talk to one of our callers. Hello, welcome to the Living Full Out Show. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Great, thank you for calling in. How can we help you today?
Well, I just have one question. I've always had this burning desire to write a movie or book about my life. I'm from Africa, but I've realized that, because of me having kids, that dream, I don't have that dream anymore. So I was just wondering, do you think maybe I can still have that dream now that my kids are grown and they're gone and I'm by myself?
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you believe that you can still have that dream?
Yeah, I think so, but the thing is because I'm from Africa and I kind of have an accent and I'm like scared for people, people reading my stuff. I'm kind of embarrassed sometimes, so I don't know if, it's something I really want to do it, but I'm just like scared.
Well, and you know what? Thank you for sharing that and being honest about that. But let's look at it this way. Your life story, right? I'm sure it's had ups and downs, right? Full of adventure.
Yeah.
Lessons to be learned, right? Think about the movies that you've seen over time, the ones that have touched you. I can think about several for me, like think of all the shows that have touched me, made me cry, have made me want to jump out of my seat and take action. Think about the fact that what if you don't write this screenplay? What if you don't do it? Think about the people out there who will miss out on the lessons that you can teach them. So it's not even about you anymore. It's about the bigger purpose of all the people that you can touch by sharing your story. And if you don't share that story, think of all the hundreds of thousands of people that miss getting inspired by you. There's only one you. Only you can tell that story. If you don't stand up and write it, we all miss out. Do you feel the gravity of how important that is?
Yeah.
So it's not even a should I, could I have to. This story has to get out there. You can't let those people down. And I don't want you to look at it like this big daunting task. Believe it or not, scripts can be written 1 page at a time. 100-page script. Give yourself 100 days to write it. Write 1 page a day.
Right.
Or however you want to break it down. But time and patience will get us to where we want to go. And the accent and all these things that, your fears of will they like it, will they not like it? Again, that's kind of what you're telling yourself to hold yourself back. So what I want you to tell yourself is, this is a story that is important. This story is going to change lives. This story is going to be therapeutic for me as well. It's going to allow me to really let that all out of my body and through my fingers to the page, right? You have to write the story. Is that something you can do?
Yes.
Right?
I think so, yes.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So take out the word think. Take out there's no more I think, right? Can you do it?
Okay.
Can you do it?
Yes.
Yes, you can. Awesome. Yes.
Yes, I can.
All right, then yes, you can. Go write that story. I can't wait to see it in the theaters.
Yes, thank you.
You got it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
And thank you to everybody who called in today and to our entire Living Full Out team. And we have Mindy and Rich and Carrie and everybody who puts this show on. And as the final words here, right? Living full out, go after that vision. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. And if you fail from time to time, if you make a mistake, just stand up again and go after it. And also let your vision be what it's going to be. Don't be stuck in one lane. Be adventurous. Drive all over the road. I want you to go off the road, on the road. Just have fun. Life is meant to be lived. Here's to you living your life full out. See you next week.